Hey all, this is Zach Lokes. Let's talk some food. So part of understanding about food is understanding food security. This is the reason why food is such an important topic today, is because people are feeling more and more insecure all around the world about food. We have situations where the import and export of various products, including food and the resources needed for their production, such as fuel, are being limited and being controlled in terms of their distribution. Food security means that I have food regardless, or at least with less impact from that global resource management company-based system. It means that I'm able to collect seeds in the fall, save them over the winter, plant them in the spring, and enjoy the same sort of food that I was able to eat, and then seed save again. That is a concept that is food secure. Seed saving, growing in your backyard. So what sort of things represent food security to you? Is it that you can store food at home? Is food security a big apple tree, for instance, that's in your backyard? I remember a community I passed through where there was an enormous, like 100-year-old cherry tree in one person's yard. And the amount of food security for the entire community provided by that single tree was mind-boggling, because it was yielding copious amounts of cherries. It had a huge overarching canopy that was, spreading into the neighboring yard and over across the street. And it had, I'm sure, a plethora of blossoms in the spring. I happened to pass through in cherry picking season, so I got to enjoy some of the cherries. But it was something that really embodies food security. So what sort of symbols or imagery do you have in mind when we talk about food security? What really brings that notion together? Is it a garden full of vegetables? Is it a root cellar? Is it really good connections with the local farming community where you can get reliable sources of food, such as someone who grows a really great crop of potatoes every year? Is it bartering and exchange? So this is something that is near and dear to all of us. It's always been important to people from around the world since the dawn of time, food security. In fact, access to really good sources of wild foods drove human migration around the world hundreds of thousands of years ago, up until agriculture, whereby we settled in areas where they had really great potential for growing food. Deep soils, rich silts from river systems like the Nile, like what happens along the Tigris and Euphrates. All around the world, we see the same story happening. People are attracted, cultures were attracted to areas of rich, edible, and wild abundance. And so this is something that we want to get into in our next Talking Food. So we'll see you there.